touching on just like mental health for people, a lot of people might suffer with anxiety, depression. What would you recommend to people just to try and overcome those basic feelings?
So there's a thought going on almost every second, boom, boom. Sometimes we're not aware of them, sometimes we are aware of them. And it is literally all about calming everything down, slowing everything down. As an athlete, as a boxer, you know yourselves, like, you need to be calm as anything in the ring.
It makes you think as well, how many people in the past that had all the talent that maybe didn't have the mindset?
Yeah, good
How
point,
many people
actually,
fall
yeah.
short? Like even people that maybe never got to be a world champion in boxing. They had the skills, they had the ability, but as soon as it comes under the bright light. Hi guys, welcome to Not Just Boxing podcast. We're here today with the hypnotist Rob. He's come all the way from Leeds down to Portsmouth. We've just been hypnotised by him. Very relaxed right now. How you doing, Rob?
Yeah, beauty, man. Like, super relaxed myself. It's, yeah, I was just saying then, it's the perks of the job. Just being able to just chill, relax. The idea of hypnotherapy is just fully letting go. If you can let go, completely relax, that's it. However we approach, whatever we see in our environment is all down to a belief. I'd look at the camera here, and I've got a preconception or a belief of what that camera represents in terms of an experience that I've had previously. Now, beliefs skew our perception of things. So if I go into something with a negative belief, that's going to directly translate into my behaviours. So then I'm going to experience that thing negatively. Hypnotherapy works all with the beliefs, all with the subconscious mind. So it's about getting you into that nice relaxed state. Once you're in that nice relaxed state, there's a part of the brain called the conscious critical faculty. This is basically like a gatekeeper, a little doorman, a little bouncer into the subconscious. So generally when someone's given information, it checks in with this CCF, the conscious critical faculty, who then checks in with the subconscious to see if that information is recognised. If it isn't, it's rejected. Part of hypnotherapy is getting you into that nice relaxed state. Once you're in that nice relaxed state, that CCF is actually suspended. I liken it to that little doorman going on a little tea break. So then any information that's given to the mind freely enters. That's where we can begin to rewrite any limiting beliefs, any unhelpful subconscious programs, or strengthen the things that you already consider to be strengths. And I think this is part of what I'm trying to create, is that it isn't just about working with negatives. So I do work with some elite sports people who, like, perceivably don't have anything wrong with them. So the work that we're doing is just literally to strengthen what they already believe in themselves, to pave that way for future growth and development. So that is basically hypnotherapy. Once you're in that nice relaxed state, you're experiencing the brainwave of theta. Theta is a light meditative state. We're naturally in it first thing on the morning when we wake up, and the last thing just before bed. And this is literally where the subconscious mind is open. If you wake up in the morning and straight away you say to yourself, today's going to be a stressful day, you're already just priming your mind to experience that. So you're going to start to spot more opportunities that align with that belief. So yeah, hypnosis is getting you into that relaxed state. And then once you're in that relaxed state, it's the suggestions on the back of that. It's getting yourself into a relaxed state, but it's what you do once you're there. So that's the difference between meditation. Meditation is like a conscious awareness, getting yourself into a nice relaxed state, whether you focus on breathing, whether you focus on a certain mantra, phrase or word. But the difference between that and hypnotherapy is what you do once you're in that relaxed state. So if you start to prime your mind with suggestions, welcome to self-hypnosis.
Wow.
I do think the phrase "you're a prisoner of your own thoughts" that a lot of people would think, that's it's quite a poisonous phrase really. But there's so many people out there with so many barriers, so many negatives, that when they do wake up, the average person, you've already got a million obstacles to overcome that's already in your head. So I think you breaking them down, obviously you're working with elite athletes, people don't even really have that because they're so well tuned mentally. But even for the average person, I think what you just did with us, that would be huge. Just anyone, I think if you can go under that and just be a better version of yourself and be more positive, I think it's amazing.
Have you ever thought about a car and then you've started to see that car everywhere on the road?
Yeah.
So that is basically that you've primed your mind with something, so your brain's more open to receiving that information. So it's not that there's all of a sudden more of those cars on the road, it's just that you're more open to receiving that information. So if you prime your mind with, today's going to be stressful, I'm knackered, I'm tired, you're going to then be more likely to spot the opportunities or spot the things that align with that belief. So you're going to start to pick up on little niggles. Oh yeah, maybe yeah, maybe I shouldn't go training, or, you know, that commute over there annoys you, that's a little bit stressful over here. And this is the power of being aware of what we're thinking about. As soon as we're aware of what we're thinking about, then we can start to identify what does this represent in the event or situation that I'm in. So in terms of what you just said there, Ash, about just everyday people, doing that is massively beneficial, because we have up to 70,000 thoughts a day. Insane. So there's a thought going on almost every second. Boom, boom. Sometimes we're not aware of them. Sometimes we are aware of them. And it is literally all about calming everything down, slowing everything down. As an athlete, as a boxer, you know yourselves, like, you need to be calm as anything in the ring. You need to be aware of everything that you're doing, so that you can decisively react or respond or be proactive in what you're doing.
So you said, obviously, first thing in the morning and the last thing at night, you're in that sort of conscious state. What would you recommend to people that are listening to maybe try and help push their lives in the right direction, whether it's being fitter, being healthier, maybe, I don't know, being a bit happier? A lot of people are struggling at the moment just because of, obviously, you've had lockdown, you've got so many bad things going on. So to focus on all the right things, what would you recommend?
Do exactly that. Set some intentions. What is it that you're actually wanting to achieve? Using affirmations, telling yourself positive and impactful suggestions. That first thing, then, what you do on a morning when you wake up is you say these positive and impactful suggestions. Start to prime the mind. This is where hypnotherapy comes in to serve as a catalyst to speed up that the rewrite of beliefs. So if I said to you both, Ash, you can't drive, you're going to still hop in your car and be able to drive. It's almost like if I've got a belief of, okay, when I enter into this situation, I'm not confident. If you then tell yourself, right, okay, go into that situation and be confident, it's just going to bounce straight off of the subconscious. Yeah, so Ash, you can say to yourself over and over again something like, feel confident in this situation, when the belief is that you don't. And at some point it is going to change. You are going to be able to start to notice certain things that align with feeling confident, but hypnotherapy serves as that catalyst to go into the subconscious, open up the subconscious mind to start to prime the mind with those suggestions that will rewrite those beliefs a lot quicker.
I do feel like mindset's so big, and obviously it's so good that in the sort of the last 10 years, 20 years, it's been so spoken about now, and people like you that work with athletes that are getting the best out of them. It makes you think as well, how many people in the past that had all the talent that maybe didn't have the mindset?
Yeah.
How many people fall short? Like, even people that maybe never got to be a world champion in boxing, they had the skills, they had the ability, but as soon as it comes under the bright lights, like we said off camera, Tyson Fury in front of 94,000 people. Can you imagine going back to your corner at the end of the first round, still not really that warm into it, and there's 94,000 people staring in the ring at you and someone else?
Yeah, it's mad. Focus, concentration. He's obviously at that point to be able to, over time, he's created that focus, knowing that he has to focus. He has to not let those outside influences affect him. And it's exactly the same internally as well. When you start to think of something external to what you're doing, then you're not giving what you're doing 100% of your attention. So therefore, you're not able to give 100% of your ability. You're not able to bring through your full ability, your full potential.
Yeah, it's like there's nothing more beautiful when you see people flowing. You see the best athlete. Like you even said during the hypnosis session about flowing, but like when you see someone that's so good at something, they're just naturally doing it. You know, they're in the zone, they're in the moment.
Negative thoughts are there to protect you. They hold a good intention. If you can identify that, what thought you're having and what the intention behind it is, then ultimately you can rationalize it. So these negative thoughts, actually, that we all have as humans, they are just there to try and protect us in some way. What you're going to find is that you have so many strong counterexamples to that negative thought that are legitimate. And you'll find that these negative thoughts that you're having, these limiting beliefs, these doubts, they don't hold any legitimacy. They don't hold any weight, really. And like I say, you've got some strong examples of the opposite. For example, if I went into a fight and I said, "Oh, I can't do this," or I'm going to get beat, which is just natural for fighters to experience. First of all, when them negative thoughts come in, is just identify them, acknowledge them, feel the feelings that they evoke, rather than try to squash them to one side, because again, those feelings, they're normal to feel. Once you start to acknowledge and feel those feelings, it's going to pave the way for that rational thinking mind to come through, which is to pick up on all of those strong examples. So give yourself that room and that opportunity to say, right, okay, well, what's actually real here? What's actually legitimate?
A lot of the biggest problems when you wake up, and like, let's say you've had a hard few weeks, let's say you're in camp, the biggest barriers you ever get really is when you're feeling overtrained. When you wake up and you feel tired, fair enough, your body's probably going to it might take half an hour to get moving a bit more, but I feel like you get more negative blocks when you are fatigued, when you are tired. So battling those mental blocks, then that's what makes you a professional. That's when you see the pros train 12 hard weeks and then go into a hard 12-round fight, compared to someone that, you know, let's say I did a big pull session yesterday and I'm feeling a bit sore. A lot of people might think, oh, I'm a bit sore, I'm done. But a lot of people might think, oh, I can train so many other things, I can be smart about it. So I think incorporating the mind with smart training, whether it's swimming or whatever, that's huge.
What you just said in terms of fatigue, the body is there, or the mind is there just trying to protect it. Fatigue, there's an element there of being vulnerable. Again, the brain is always just trying to protect it. So if you're in a fatigued state, you're going to be more susceptible to danger, whether that's a fighter, whether that's a saber-toothed tiger that's running at you, because that is literally where this has evolved from, or not evolved really. It initially evolved many years ago, this fight or flight response, which is there to protect us from when we was in tribes, when we had constant danger around us. You know, we had other tribes to fight, we had dangerous animals, we needed food, we needed shelter, warmth, we had constant danger around us. Now, that part of the brain is still very much present. So, for example, a boss might call somebody into an office and they get that instant spike of anxiety, the adrenaline rush, oh shit, what's going on here? They're going to get the same feelings as though they're running from a saber-toothed tiger. It's all from the mind. So what we can take from this is that ultimately the brain is just constantly trying to protect it. Protect the host, protect ourselves. Yeah, of course you're going to feel the physical actions of fatigue, i.e. you're not going to be able to throw as many punches, or you're not going to be able to run as quick, but you can always give more, definitely. And it's about dropping the stories attached to this. If you go into it thinking, oh man, I can't give any more here, and you're gonna start to really noticeably feel that fatigue, rather than changing that narrative, changing that story as to say, right, I can keep going here, I need to stay present, I can keep pushing. The way that I work, I don't believe I'm like any other coach or hypnotherapist. I create a very open, just a friendly space just for us to bounce ideas off of each other. It's super informal. You know, I'll have my feet up, I'll have a coffee in hand, and I'd encourage my clients to do the same. The more comfortable they feel, the more open they're going to become, the more receptive they're going to be, the more suggestible they're going to be. It's just about bouncing ideas off of each other. There's a client that comes to mind who's not an athlete, and the work that we've done is really just, I've just said, oh, do you think it's this? And then she's really just taken a step back and gone, oh, actually, well, what's come up for me there is this. And I've gone back with, oh, well, do you think it relates to this? And then we're just piecing the jigsaw puzzle together. So that journey of understanding the mind can be understanding previous things and how it's related to the present moment, or it's simply just looking forward into the future with the best mindset and approach to that. So there's many ways that we can look at it. There's a reason why I don't consider myself a counsellor or psychotherapist. Is I'm not really one for sitting and dwelling in the past too much. I'm very big on having a brief understanding of it, and then, okay, how does that affect the now, and can we gain closure on it? Can we move forward? Can we use it to motivate and drive you? And then we're in the present, we're looking forward to the future.
That's so much better. You know, you have so many people, you might go for counselling, you might sit, and everyone goes through tough things in life.
Yeah.
You know, you could go for 20 hours with a counsellor and just talk about all the bad things in your life, and you'll probably leave emotional. And sometimes it works. It's worked for me in the past one time.
Yep.
But the way you're proactive and positive with people, you're getting an understanding of what the problem is, and then you're just bouncing off how you can fix it. You know, let them understand the problem, the deep cause, and then they're just coming out on top of it and leaving it behind them.
Yeah.
And that problem ends up being their strength.
I think it's about purpose. Maybe they don't feel like they have much of a purpose, or it's a different purpose to what they had initially. If we objectively look at a fighter's life who's, let's say they're in a 6, 8, 12-week camp, whatever it is, and they have an end date. That end date for them is what they're working towards. Then they get it, and they're looking to move up in the ranks. They're looking to obviously be world champion. They've got these constant things in sight, these constant attributes, and they've constantly got that motivation to be like, right, okay, I'm in this camp and I'm working towards this. You know, we might be motivated by that praise over there or that nice shiny thing over there, but I think when you fully look at that, once those things are not there, then the motivation does go. And this is something that I'm working on myself, is just enjoying the journey. Stop being so focused on that thing in the future that's not actually there yet. If you've just got that as an idea, keep it as a seed in the back of your mind. Enjoy the moment.
For that reason, that's why I love training every day, exercising. I feel good mentally, I feel good after, but like that feeling of every day just putting my all in, whether it's physically or mentally, like I just feel so much more progressive. And enjoying the now, I know that it's helping with the goals that I have got. And a lot of people might think, oh, I want to be national champion or I want to be world champion. But then, like you said, if you don't enjoy putting in the work, or like the good phrase Mike Tyson said about discipline, you need to have that mindset of loving every single day. You got to live the life of a fighter if you're going to be a fighter. You need to breathe it. So, yeah,
Agreed, man.
Enjoy the journey and trust the process.
That is it. Trust the process.
Touching on just like mental health for people, everyone can resonate. Like a lot of people might suffer with anxiety, depression. What would you recommend to people just to try and overcome those basic feelings that as soon as they wake up, they might already be behind compared to someone that's actually thriving in life, that's got the right mindset?
Yeah. I think slowing everything down, meditation holds a lot of power. If you can just take 5-10 minutes out each day to sit, breathe, and just start to notice what thoughts are going on. Are you predominantly talking to yourself negatively? Have you got a negative internal dialogue? Again, if you've got that negative internal dialogue, that's going to make you feel that way. You're going to then respond in that way. Then you're just going to see these things, which is going to affirm that. And then you're in this self-perpetuating cycle, a vicious cycle. So taking time out, slowing those thought processes down. Again, we have up to 70,000 thoughts a day. So how can we manage all of those thoughts? How can we be aware of all of those thoughts? We can't, is the answer. We need to slow those down, taking that time out. The first initial point of working with myself is to become as consciously aware as possible. So basically identifying the thoughts that are coming in, that are not serving you, and then we can come up with a template or a blueprint on how to change them, but also identifying the positive thoughts that are coming in and looking to double down on those. So once a person that I'm working with is at that point where they're feeling aware, they're feeling good, they're feeling in control, then we can start to nurture these other ideas. In terms of athletes, we can start to nurture the idea of getting into flow state, activating that peak performance state, activating the full potential, and then it's just up and up and up from there. Once you can start to make things habitual, certain thought processes, it paves the way for future growth, understanding, development. I say to people initially when I have a consultation with them is that we'll work together consistently on a weekly basis up until a point where you're feeling like things are moving, you're feeling good and you're feeling under control. Then we can review it. Most people at that point then jump onto like every month, so it's a little check-in and we can review things, just make sure that they're not falling into any bad habits. And with athletes, with fighters, then we'll kickstart up again once they enter into a camp. We'll see each other every week up until the fight, and the week after we'll have a debrief session, a chance to review, reflect, reset, and again they might move on to every 2, 3 or 4 weeks and just rinse and repeat.
Do you think to stay happy you need to always be hitting goals mentally, whether it's just making your bed in the morning every day, or do you think you need to have certain goals to be on track? Like you said, getting complacent. If I was happy and I was national champion and I thought, well, I'm national champion, I'm done now, and got complacent, like, do I still need to have goals even when would you say it's a big part of your mindset for your whole life, just to stay on track, to never regress?
Nah, I can't speak generally. I can speak for myself. Myself, I need to be working towards something constantly.
Yeah.
If I'm not,
Same.
I feel like, what am I
You're
doing?
wasting
What's the
time.
point in
Yeah,
life?
yeah,
like,
you're wasting
yeah,
time.
like what am I doing? But I believe that as humans, we need to have a higher purpose, something that's bigger than us that we're working towards, even if it is making your bed in the morning. But at the same time, and this is something that my girlfriend's made me aware of, is that not everyone is like go, like motivated, driven to keep pushing. Some people are genuinely happy, just chilling, just doing
Yeah,
the things that they
that's
want to do.
Yeah.
And maybe they're happy with going to work, coming home, just
Having
chilling
a biscuit
out.
with their cup of tea.
Yeah, like that for them might be
Highlight of your day.
yeah. And do you know what? That's fine, and I think that's what makes the world turn, is that we are all different.
When I first got talked into meditation, I didn't really know what it was or whatever. But the guy said to me, "How much money do people spend all the time on their looks, on like new clothes, new this, new that, all these external stuff? How many people dedicate any time or money on their mind?" And it's like, obviously your mind's the most powerful thing. And again, it's coming up now in the literature, and there's not much really about it. But we're starting to see guys like you, which are just booming, which are doing so good, that are dealing with making such a positive effect on so many lives.
Appreciate that, man.
If we get one person listen today that actually picks up a few good tips that might change their life, you know. What are your contact details? How can someone reach out to you? We can put your links in our description, but
Sure.
like how much is the initial contact if someone was coming to get to you roughly?
Yeah, so Therapy with Rob on Instagram, and rob@therapywithrob.com, the email. Get at me, we can have a free consultation, 20 minutes, we can chew the fat, I'll introduce myself, talk to you a little bit about what the sessions entail, find out a little bit about yourself, and then we can go from there, figure out what the journey looks like.
Brilliant. And what tips have you got for anyone listening right now to grow, self-growth, just a little thing to add to their day?
Yeah.
Become aware of your thoughts. I think that's the theme of everything that I've said today. Become aware of your thoughts. That's going to allow you to be aware of your approach to different things, different events and situations. If you can hone in and nurture the positive approaches and 10x them, make them even better, larger, then your approach to those things is only going to grow.
What a podcast. Thank you, Rob, mate.
Thank
It's
you
been
very
a
much,
pleasure
Rob.
having you on.